Yo, what's up? What a non-enterprise, your boy back at it again. It is conference championship week, and our San Francisco 49ers get ready to take on the Detroit Lions. I have to say, after all these years of watching football, especially watching the 49ers, this has to be the most intriguing matchup to me that the 49ers had coming into the postseason. Um, we have met in the postseason before. If you're as old as I am, or if you do NFL history, we met in the divisional round in 1983, and I mostly remember the end of the game. But to sum it all up, Eric Hipple was the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions. He was injured, so if there's any Lion fans watching this, correct me if I'm wrong. I think his name was Craig Danielson, stepped in for Hipple. And Detroit was able to move the ball all day. The one problem was Danielson threw 5 interceptions, and it took a late fourth quarter drive from Joe Montana to give us the lead. Well, we were down 23-17. Joe Montana led the game-winning drive. I think he had a touchdown strike. I believe Freddie Solomon. Anyways, 49ers went up 24-23. Lions had one more chance. They went down the field and had a chance to win it with, I believe, a 42-yard field goal wide right. And the 49ers, went on to the NFC title game to play Washington. Now, again, if you're a Lions fan, if you're watching this, you might be thinking that this game coming up on Sunday might be, a revenge game. And that's fair enough. Or, now if you really did your history, I could probably say that 1983 game was payback for 1957. 1957, and of course, this was before the Super Bowl era. That was the closest the 49ers ever got to making it to an NFL championship. And if I'm not mistaken, that might have been the only time that they made the postseason during the pre-Super Bowl era. We met the Detroit Lions in the divisional round. And from what I read, from what I understand, the Niners had a 27-7 halftime lead on the Lions. You think that'd be safe, but somehow the Niners choked away that game, and the Lions won the game 31-27. They go on to the NFL Championship the next week and destroy the Cleveland Browns 59-14. And that right there was the Lions' last championship of anything. And this is their first conference championship appearance since 1991. The good old days of Barry Sanders, favorite running back of all time. Shout out to him. And I just remember they just got destroyed by the Redskins. I think the final score was 41-10. And I know the Lions have had plenty of playoff appearances in the 90s, but after that 91 season, they were usually one and done. So yeah, that's basically it right there. And then you got us, who've been doing this whole brick by brick thing since Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch stepped in. And we have produced some great teams. 3 conference championship appearances, 1 Super Bowl appearances. Unfortunately, no championship to show for it. So this is very interesting. You got one team in the 49ers that's looking to get over that hump and finally get that championship, trying to get Lombardi number 6. And over here, you got the Lions, where I don't want to call them a Cinderella team because I don't want it to make it sound like they ain't got no business being here. They have every business being here. the way they ended last season, I kept telling people, do not sleep on the Lions in 2023. And they when they opened the season on the road and won against the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs, I knew they were on their way. I knew they were on their way. Dan Campbell is doing a great job with this team. Great motivator. You know, they got a lot of weapons on offense that Jared Goff can work with. Great running game. Excellent wide receivers. Their defense, they're very physical. They try to get at the quarterback. So this is a very, very interesting matchup. Very interesting. And I know the 49ers are going to have to play a whole lot better than they did against the Green Bay Packers if they're going to come out and win this game. Hopefully we have Deebo Samuel in there, but from what I heard, he practiced today. He was limited, but signs points to him that possibly looks like he's going to be playing or at least giving it a go. But it just perplexes me that this 49er offense has so many weapons in, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Yet Deebo Samuel is that important to our offense. So it would be great if we have him out there, to hopefully keep that line defense on its heels, which is not going to be easy. Like I said, they're physical. They like to bring the pressure. And I know they're going to be testing Deebo's shoulder. So yeah, we're going to have our work cut out for us. Brock Purdy, got to give him the props for, he had a bad game. We all acknowledge that. But he did something that critics were saying he needed to do was, when the adversity's on the line, can you show up when it matters? And like Shannon Sharp said on First Take earlier this week, it's not always about the whole production and all that. Sometimes it's about the moment. And Brock Purdy faced that moment, looked it right in the eyes last week, and when it mattered, he delivered. But I'm sure he knows he's going to have to play a much better game. It's not going to be easy to run against that line defense. They're pretty good. The one area I think we can hopefully take advantage of is their secondary. So hopefully we can get our passing game going. We got to get Brandon Ayuk more involved in there. Hopefully George Kittle can do his thing. Hopefully if Deebo goes, he can handle his business. So this is going to be a challenging matchup for the offense. And on a defensive side, like I said, the Lions have so many weapons. It's not even funny. And we're going to have to find a way to get to Jared Goff. Now, unlike Jordan Love, Jared Goff is not that mobile of a quarterback, so that's where he can be had. The problem is the Lions have a very good offensive line, and when they give Goff time, he can pick a defense apart. So we got to find a way to bring pressure on the quarterback and get in his face. And overall, I'm just looking forward to a really great game between two great teams. And like I said earlier, this is the most intriguing matchup that I'm about to witness. And I'm going to be honest with you. Thank goodness this isn't the case. But if the 49ers were not in this championship game against the Lions, I honestly would be going with the Detroit Lions. Because, yes, I'm a 49er fan. But I'm also a big fan of NFL history. And I mean, From behind the scenes, I've been following the Detroit Lions for a long time. Every year, they're on Thanksgiving, first game of the day. So, that day, I've always made like watching the Lions game, as a priority because I've always been like, some football is better than no football, regardless if it's your team or not. And 1957, that's a very long time. I'm pretty sure there's people alive that, not that many, that might remember that last 57 NFC title game. But I know there are a lot of people in Detroit that has never experienced anything big like this. And it's pretty much us against the world. And Detroit might look at that as well because this team has, up until, Dan Campbell showed up, has been at the bottom of the league for so long. Yet the Lion fans, as passionate as they are, they love their football, they love their Lions. They always hung with their team, even during the bad days. And I really respect that. And I know they want something. They want something on Sunday. They're not just happy to get to the NFC title game. They want to get to that Super Bowl. They want to get there just as bad as we do. And again, I totally respect that. If the Niners weren't in this game, I'd be rooting for Detroit to get in, to get into the Super Bowl myself. So that's why this is this is nothing personal. This is business. I just hope for a 49ers victory, but I'm going to be real with you. We're going to have our work cut out for us. And again, we can't have that performance we had last Saturday against Green Bay. We have to bring it. We have to be ready for everything they bring to us. And we can't have no slow starts. Play your game. Get back to the basics. And then everything will take care of itself. So that's pretty much all I got for the game. Those are my thoughts. Looking forward to a classic matchup. Again, third matchup in the postseason between the two teams. Lions got us in 57. We got them in 83. So I guess you could say this is the rubber match. Anyways, it should be fun. Niner Empire, have a great rest of the week. Let's get ready for the game. Go Niners. And if there's any Detroit Lions fans watching this, hey, good luck. You guys deserve to be here. I'm happy for you guys. Let's just have a good game. All right, I'll give it to y'all next time. Late.